Hi everyone, I'm Davie J. You are watching Third Eye Alliance, and I am here with our Christoph, as always, and we are a group of like-minded individuals with a passion for spiritual content, supernatural, astrology, tarot cards, ghost hunting, conspiracy theories, anything weird and wonderful, cryptozoology, UAPs, and psychic phenomena, and everything else that comes along with it.
And in our last episode, we were actually doing tarot card readings, which was really cool. The episode before that, we did astrology. But in this episode of the podcast, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be doing something a little bit negative. Now, normally, Davey J and I are not negative people. We usually try to avoid negativity. And no, this episode is not us being negative, but we are going to talk about negative energy in this episode. And negative energy is something that is all around us. Everybody has negative energy, and some people choose to follow what the negative energy is telling them to do. In this episode, I'm going to actually talk about some of my own experiences with people who treated me in a negative way, but we're also going to talk about energy in people as a whole in this episode. There is the website if you want to visit it and take a look at it. But this is a separate video from our podcast because I want to talk about the energy of people. And I'm sure this could make a whole episode, but I just wanted to kind of talk about some of my experiences with dealing with people with great energy and then dealing with people that don't really have great energy. What's your thought on that, Davey J?
Well, of course, nobody wants to deal with someone who's got really negative energy, but we don't have the choice in that all the time. So, what can we do to best protect ourselves? Like, for example, tell us about what you do when you have someone who's a skeptic, and or if they are actually trying to prove that you are not what you say you are, or whatever. I thought we'd go into that.
We can talk about that. And so sometimes, like, especially when you're doing reading as a business like I do on Fiverr, anybody can order from you. Like, they just click a button and they order. And most of the time the people on Fiverr are absolutely fantastic, but every once in a while you get somebody that has kind of bad intentions, and you have to decide kind of what goes on with that. Now, I have people that order from me that take my reading videos and air them as a part of their YouTube channel. I had an amazing guy. He runs a YouTube channel called Crispy Pro. He does YouTube. He's on YouTube and he talks about Doctor Who, and he had me predict like a season of Doctor Who, what was going to happen. And he was a great guy, and that video got posted and it was fine. And I've had other people try to play tricks on me and order videos from me where they're trying to make fun of me, but it doesn't work. This other gentleman, I won't mention his name, he did a video, he did a live reading with me, and he was like, it's like he was trying to shock me or get me to react in a negative way by purposely saying certain things and showing certain things. But if you're getting a reading from me, I respect you and everything that you say. If you ask me a question, I take that question at face value, regardless of what that question is. I give it the utmost respect. You can ask a question about anything. And some people may say, oh, that question is, not a question they want. I'll answer any question and I'll treat every question with respect. This one guy, he did the live reading with me and he was asking me all these ridiculous questions, and I answered them with my cards as honestly and as accurately as I can. And I think it ruined his fun because I think he was trying to get me to react in a negative way or to freak out. And I don't. And I don't think Davey J does either with weird questions.
Yeah, I'm pretty zen with that stuff.
So if you plan to do that with me, I will give you my Fiverr. There's my five. Go for it. But yeah, I will treat everybody with respect. If you ask me a question, I will answer it the most honest and accurate way possible. But sometimes people think that they need to take you down a peg. Sometimes on YouTube, people put like negative comments in the replies. Maybe we'll get some negative comments on this video. I don't know. But how do you deal with difficult people in your life, Davey J?
I tend to end up mirroring them sometimes in certain scenarios, but At other times, I will just kind of step back, kind of picture that, bubble of energy around me like an egg, but it's an impenetrable shell. So no
Mm-hmm.
matter what they throw at me, it just bounces off. Like to the point where I can have somebody who really doesn't like me say some sort of out loud comment, and I won't even hear it. Other people around me will hear it, and they're like, "You didn't hear that? Didn't hear what? I don't know." It just it doesn't even tune in. So that's just how my energy works. I can just block it out.
And that's like, is that like a part of Reiki, being able to create the egg shape or a bubble?
It's something anybody can do. All you have to do is just picture that hard shell of energy around you. It's your aura. It's your energy. It's your soul. Your energy is you. So actually, if somebody says I don't have time for you, I don't have the energy for you, it means I don't want to waste my soul on you in a sense. So
That's interesting.
I heard that perspective recently. I'm like, hey, that's actually kind of an interesting way of
Yeah.
looking at it. And
It's like there's only so much you can do or use at any given time.
exactly.
It's interesting. Like sometimes people go on the attack for some reason. Sometimes people take
Yeah.
offense to something you say, something you do. And, when I deal with those situations, it's best just not to deal with them. It's best to say, okay, well, that person isn't compatible with my energy.
Mhm.
I'm going to leave that person over there and I'm going to go in this direction.
Exactly.
It's sometimes hard though to hold back from that sort of thing, but you have to do
Yeah.
it. And I've learned that the hard way in my life. I've made the mistake of getting angry and fighting back, and it never serves a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to fight someone or hurt someone to get your message across, that's the wrong message. Like that's
Yep.
the wrong way to act. And this happens a lot of time in relationships as well too, with people. Oops, I didn't do that by on purpose. But anyway, what happens with people is they think they have to fight to resolve issues, and fighting is a destructive action, not a constructive action. And this is something like in my readings, it's some of the advice I give. It's like, how is a fight going to fix?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll prove I'm right. Well, that's not what it's about. It's not
No.
about you being right or someone else being right. It's about respecting each other. And that's with any kind of connection or relationship, be it a friendship or,
Yep.
case in point, like my friendship with Davie J. We can
Mm-hmm.
not talk for months. I
Mm-hmm.
get distracted. I get distracted and I
Me too.
disappear and I go off and I do something. And then I will send Davie J a message like after 6 months. And then we just pick up the conversation like
Like we
nothing
just
happened.
left off yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Like
before we,
time did not pass.
no, but before we started doing this podcast, it was like we didn't talk really regularly for years.
Yeah.
And then Davie J's like, I want to do a podcast. Let's do a podcast. And I'm like, okay. And it's like the best friend switch clicks on and
Yep.
you're getting along. So
Yeah.
that's a real connection and a real friendship, I think. Like,
Yeah. There's
yeah.
no bitterness or you didn't talk to me this day and you didn't
When
wish me
did we
happy
ever
birthday
fight?
or Merry
I don't even
Christmas.
think we ever fought about anything ever.
If there was ever anything we didn't see eye to eye on, it was usually just talking it out and going, oh, okay, so we're kind of seeing the same point of view, just different perspectives. I
Yeah.
mean, that's usually how it goes. I mean, even Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman, they did not really get along well, but Adam will be the first one to tell you that they looked at things from totally different perspectives. They always came to the same conclusion as each other. So
Yeah.
it's just perspective more than anything.
And as well, it's like not getting offended by
Hmm.
someone else's words or opinion. Like
The
it,
ego getting in the way.
yeah, like if like that person and it's just like, okay, well, we should get along, right? But it's like a lot of people get hurt by something. So I had a situation where I was actually hurt a little bit, and this will
Mhm.
probably give satisfaction to that, the person that went out and hurt me. I had somebody who, for whatever reason, they decided that they were going to prove me as being phony and fake, and so they ordered a series of readings from me on Fiverr, designed to like fool me or trick me, or the result of that was it didn't work. The first reading that this person did for me, they basically lied. They showed me a picture of a popular UK pop star celebrity
Mhm.
and told me that they were like a lost uncle, and they asked me whether or not that person was still alive.
Mhm.
and they were trying to get me to do a reading where I, prove that I just make stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the interesting part is when I read the information after the order came in, I instantly recognized who it was in the photo, and the song that they sang popped in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, how do I deliver this? Because I already know the answer, so I'm not going to do a reading. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up producing a video, and I said, the moment you sent the picture, I recognized it. I didn't have to do a reading.
Mm-hmm.
I just instantly recognized this person, and I can tell you right now, this person's not your uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And here's their popular pop song, and I played the music video in the video I delivered. The guy approved the delivery, and he seemed happy, and then like a day passes, and he sends me a message. And the message reads, I wasn't able to fool you this time, but next time I'll get you. I'll prove you're phony. I'll
Wow.
prove you're fake. Now, I don't do anything fake, as in I don't research or I don't look anybody up. When somebody orders a reading with me, I ask them for their name and their birth date or age.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the information I go on. And
You don't need more than that.
no, I don't have the time to spend hours researching somebody
Mm-hmm.
before doing. I will just do the reading. I do the reading. I read the reading. I do the reading. And it would be ridiculous. I wouldn't get my readings done if I was like doing some type of tricky thing, if I was researching or
You wouldn't
anything
have
along
enough
this line.
time in the day to do it.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't have enough time in the day. So I don't. And I don't want to like make things complicated. I do readings. You respond to the reading, great. You don't respond to the reading, then maybe I'm not the person you shouldn't be doing readings with. It's simple. If I send you a 20-minute reading, it took me 20 minutes to record it. I sent it to you, and that's the time investment beyond me kind of meditating beforehand to get into the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So this person then proceeded to do 2 more orders with me, and it was like instantly I picked up on his energy. I'm like, that's the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to fool me a second time, and it didn't work. And he tried to fool me a third time, and it didn't work. And I don't know how many attempts he did, but I'm pretty sure I caught him every time. And then he went away.
There
Okay.
have been
And
absolute frauds out there who genuinely were messing people over doing this kind of work. But
yeah,
no, you are one who does not do that, and you pick up on people. You just
I don't know. And, as well, recently, Dave himself, he had a friend order from me.
mm-hmm.
And Dave told me his friend was going to order, but then the friend didn't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the reading, and how did it go? How did it go?
It went really well. I also didn't tell him when it was going to happen, and I told him after the fact that she had the reading. And yeah, she was very happy with her reading. It was one question. All she was asking was, what will happen if her husband applies at this workplace that he was thinking of joining? So she got the answer she was needing to hear, and she's very happy.
And I don't remember doing the reading. But that's how it works. Like I'm focused. I answer the question, and then I move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I break my focus, it takes me like an hour to kind of get right back into the headspace.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got 2 studios. I got the studio here, and I do readings out of an office at my home. And when I'm working out of my office at my home, every once in a while, I have cats. My cats will make a noise, or my wife will make a noise, and it'll break me right out of my concentration. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's time for a break, because it's going to take me an hour to kind of get back into focus again. And but that's kind of how it works. And I find it interesting that people keep trying to test me.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a reading with me, and I'm gonna put up the graphic here as well. If you want a reading with me, don't play games. Don't try to trick me. You're just gonna end up wasting the opportunity to get a genuine reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm not guaranteeing that your reading is going to be the most amazing reading that you've ever had before, but I'm going to try my best to answer your questions to the best of my abilities, using my cards. I have the psychic reading, using my psychic abilities,
Mm-hmm.
using all of my intuitive resources. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not my Google resources. Okay. And if you treat it honest with the process, and you don't like it, then you get to leave a negative review on Fiverr.
Yeah.
you you get to do that, okay?
Yeah. Although after 10,000 readings and still a 5-star
yeah,
review,
I
you
was
seem to
doing
be
the
doing all
math the
right.
other day. I was doing the math the other day, and you can't make people happy all the time. Like
No.
there's going to be somebody that doesn't give you 5 stars. And the funny part of the people that haven't given me 5 stars, now that I'm at 10,000, it's like something like it's like 0.02% of people
Wow.
left a review that wasn't 5 star. It's like a
That really,
handful amongst like
yeah.
at first I'm like, oh, 2%. I'm like, no, it's not 2%, right? Because it's 10,000. It's like I didn't account. I'm thinking 1,000 in my head, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you do the math. It's like, and it might even be, I might have miscalculated it because my math skills are not good either. Um, but I think it's 0.2 or 0.02.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
literally like a handful out of 10,000.
yeah, but like literally go to my Fiverr. Feel free to go to the Third Eye Alliance. I clicked the wrong button, but yeah, go to my Fiverr and try it out for yourself. I would love to do a reading for you, and you don't have to give me any information.
Hmm.
Okay, you don't even have to give me your name and your age or your birth. You don't have to give me any of that stuff. I'll do a reading without it, although it might not be as good. But I can do a reading without anything, and give it a try. That person out there that kept trying to trick me over and over again, it's probably not going to work. But come and get come and get a real reading. Like ask me a real question. You don't have to order from the same account you tried to trick me on. You can order from a new account. You can use even a different name. I'll still connect to your energy. Doesn't matter what your name is. Okay. I'm connecting through your name. Okay. So you could spell it's like you writing, the act of writing that name in. I can connect to the energy, even if it's not your name. So go for it. Order a reading with me. I'd love to do a real reading for you. And then, you can decide, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who's real and who's not. And we've talked about this before in the podcast, but finding the right people to do readings for you, finding the right people to help you, it's all about your comfort level with that person.
Yep.
Okay.
And you'll resonate with them. You'll know. Like sometimes it's just a matter of looking and feeling. You just know. And
Yeah.
it's
And if you
kind of
don't,
like dating that way too.
yeah. And if for whatever reason you don't like that person, right?
Yeah.
Don't work with them. You don't have to work with them.
No.
It's not about starting a fight.
No.
Okay. Fighting doesn't get you anywhere. Fighting will just make you more angry and cause more conflict. It's destructive, not constructive.
Yes.
Do what's best for you and move on. Don't focus your energy on hate and negativity. You deserve to treat yourself better than that. Okay. It's not about making me look bad. It's about treating yourself better and not letting that anger cause you to react. Right.
Exactly.
And it took, I've had a lot of anger over the years, and I've been learning to just be better. And that's all you can try to do.
Yep.
Just try to be the best version of yourself and try to be better. And I try to do that every day. But
Exactly.
It's like I almost feel like saying, I dare you to get a real reading with me. But I don't dare you. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But that's the one person. Out of all the readings that I've done, that's really the only person that got under my skin a little. Because it's just like, why is this person wasting his time?
And money.
It's not about wasting my time. People waste my time all the time. That's fine. I'm used to it, right? It's fine. I'm here to help people. I want to listen. I want to read everything that you write, but it helps me do my job better. But these people that kind of go out to try to prove a point, it's like he's how many hours did he waste thinking about and planning things that I just dissolved instantly?
Channel that energy somewhere constructive.
And I hope he is. This was a long time ago that this person did it. Nothing like this has ever happened again since this one person. A lot of the people on 5 people are mostly fantastic. There's like the one person in a bad mood, right? Like nobody's bad. But some people make bad decisions and choices. Some people are in a terrible mood.
Yep.
and they take it out on somebody else because they're trying to feel better about themselves. There's better ways to feel better
Mm-hmm.
about yourself. And to that person out there, I hope you're doing really well. Okay, hope you're not mad at me because I didn't want to fight. I never want to fight. But come on back to get a reading with me. I'd be happy to do a legitimate reading with you. Yeah. How do you feel about it? I feel like I've just vented a whole bunch of stuff here, Davie
I,
J.
I don't know. How do you feel after that? Because I'm just listening.
We were doing the podcast. We recorded this after doing a podcast, and I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't feel it suited the podcast. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something that has to be mentioned. You know, people that are doing readings for you, they're real people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Most of the time, they're legitimate and they're just trying to help you.
Yep.
And messing up that process, doing things intentionally to try to fool or trick or, we had this, the one YouTuber that I didn't mention the name of, Crispy Pro, is the best one of, the best guy out there. But the other guy I was talking about, not Crispy Pro, who's amazing, by the way. The other guy, he basically asked all fake questions. And sure enough, the cards just basically, like during the reading, the cards basically said that like what he's asking about doesn't matter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and by the end of the reading, I was basically like, regardless of what the cards said here, because I don't feel like any of the questions you asked mattered. The cards kept saying that things weren't happening that he was talking about. It was a weird reading.
Mm-hmm.
But the fun part is when he finally posted the video, he didn't use me in his video. He used another reader that I guess he tricked to say the right thing.
Okay.
But that's the interesting thing. I won't say things just because you'll want me
Right.
to say them, and not to say that reader that he used in that video was bad. I think the reader was probably pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like sometimes people want an answer, and sometimes people will think they have to give that answer to make the person happy. Not that I want you to be miserable when you get readings from me, but I'm not going to give you the happy answer just because you want it.
Right.
If the cards show it, if my intuition picks up that happy answer is true, I will tell you. If we just did a podcast where we were doing readings in the podcast, and we got the death card, we got the Three of Swords, the heartbreak card.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially when we got the heartbreak card, I wasn't going to say everything's great. I was basically saying that, yeah, bad stuff's probably going to happen as a result. It's probably not over.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing, like when you're getting a reading from a real reader and they're honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to know it.
Yeah.
You're going to, some people just do it for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
I guess my readings are entertaining. I'm going to tell you what the cards are. I'm going to tell you the brutal truth.
Yeah. Always open and honest.
In the nicest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
But still, don't order a question from me and say, am I going to die tomorrow? Just please, sometimes people do orders with me and they ask like terrible, horrible questions. And I'm happy to answer any question. Okay. So I'm not saying, don't ask the questions that you need, but sometimes people go, am I going to die next week? Like sometimes things get dark.
Yeah.
I will answer that question, but you might not like the answer. So, when you do readings, just make sure you're prepared, to hear the negative answer, because
Mm-hmm.
it's equally possible that things will work out as they might fail as well too. But life is failure,
Mm-hmm.
and learning from those lessons.
Yeah.
And I always say something about failure, that if you stop trying, only then is it failing. If you keep trying, like it cannot work so many times, but if you keep trying, you've never failed. You've just continued putting in effort in hopes of a positive outcome.
Yeah, well, it's like when the light bulb was being invented. He just kept doing it until he did it. And it's just, he kept failing, and he just learned all these ways of not to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's still that one light bulb. I think it's in a fire station that's still lit.
You can look at it live on online.
Yeah, it's like one of the Edison bulbs, like one of the first ones.
Yeah.
So they built them to never break, and then they said, you know what? People need to replace these so we can make more money.
Yeah.
It's like, we could fix your TV, or you could just throw it out and buy a new one.
Exactly.
Yay! I remember as a kid, my parents got their TV repaired. It was
Mm-hmm.
like one of those huge console TVs where it was like massive and the screen was like this big in the middle.
Mm-hmm. And weighed about
And
4,000 pounds.
yep, it was a
Mm-hmm.
piece of furniture. It
Yep.
wasn't,
My parents
and
had that too.
people, the repair guy came in. He opened up the back of it. He was working on it for several hours. He's like, I gotta go get some parts from my truck. He goes to his truck, comes back, puts a couple parts in. TV brand new, worked like it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why doesn't it work that way anymore?
Yeah.
um you know
Consumerism.
they want to sell as many TV, like if you can fix your TV for less than the new TV,
Yeah.
that's not good for business.
No.
um
Same with washers, dryers, fridges,
yeah, they have parts in them designed to break.
cars especially. They have
Well,
plastic parts inside the engines of these very expensive
plastic parts?
plastic parts that end up
Why?
being replaced because they will have to go through blah blah blah, or if
Yeah,
they don't change the plastic part out on time, the engine goes and they're, oh, okay, time for a new car.
yeah. Oh, we gotta or replace your whole engine.
Yes, which
um
would be cheaper to just buy a new car.
Buy a new car, which that makes no sense. Like, the amount of labor, right? It's the labor that makes it probably more, and the expensive parts.
Yes.
So yeah, interesting to think about kind of people in, oh man, will we ever not be greedy one day? Like I'm still sitting here hoping for a Star Trek future,
Mm-hmm.
but even Star Trek, they kept getting into fights, but at least, in the Federation, you didn't have to have money. You could just get whatever you wanted
Yeah.
from a replicator. I don't know. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to talk about as far as kind of negative energy. But, if you encounter somebody that's like decides they're your enemy,
Mm-hmm.
you don't fight that person. Like, don't try to beat them. Don't try to prove you're better.
Yeah, just walk away.
Yes. Nobody's better than
No.
anybody else, even the worst person in the world, okay? The person that you deem is the worst person in the world, you're
Exactly.
not better than that person, okay?
Nope, and they're not better than you.
Even if you think you're making better choices, everybody has their reason for their decisions that they make. And I don't think anybody views themselves as the bad guy. I don't even think there's real bad guys. Of course, in my career, I've encountered a lot of people that have like hurt me and done things that
Mm-hmm.
why logically this person must be bad because they keep doing these bad things. But it's just like you hope that, maybe later in this lifetime or in their next lifetime, they realize that those things that they did were, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not right. That's me. I don't know. What do you like people that keep making horrible decisions that hurt people? Why do you think that is, Davey?
Uh, for whatever reason, they just want to cause that chaos. They like the drama. They want to create the issues because it gives them whatever. I don't know. I'm not one of those people.
I
I
never
personally
I
just
never
like
understood
being
it.
left alone.
I never understood it. Like, do you think that some of these people do these bad things so that they can solve it and look good? Like
I think some might. Yeah.
I never understood like when I was a kid, I never understood what motivated people. It took me years to understand how most people thought because I did not, my thought process was completely different. If somebody
Yeah.
said, let's be friends, I'm like their best friend forever. Like,
Hmm.
and it's just like I had to learn that some people don't mean what they
Yeah.
say, right? They're trying to get something else.
Right. And if
Oh,
they can't get what they want out of you, they move on.
yeah. Or they try to destroy you. One of the other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, I kind of the point of this video was for me to just talk about more stuff. But have you ever like had any like negative encounters like that? People kind of going against you? Like you're not the type of person to do anything that usually, causes people to react in negative. Is there something from your life that happened that
Um, Sometimes people will just have a really negative reaction to just simply your presence.
hmm,
Like some people will just simply be shining and not doing or saying a thing, and someone will react really negatively because it's who knows why, but it freaks them out, and they react like that, and you're just left there questioning what just happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even they don't know what's going on, probably.
No,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
kind of weird to just like dislike somebody. But
Yeah.
it's like, are they picking up on, like, is it something that you remind them of somebody, like, or yeah, like,
Who
who
knows?
knows, right?
Yeah.
That's what psychology, I guess. If that
Yeah.
person went to therapy, they'd probably figure it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I never understood that. Like, most of my life has been focused on achieving my own personal goals, but at the same time, I want to
Mhm.
help people along the way with the things that I do.
Yeah.
And I never understand when you come across somebody that's just like, oh, you're trying to help people? Well, I don't like you.
How dare you help people?
You know,
Don't you dare help that little old lady across the road.
I don't know. Is maybe it's just that people, I used to do a lot of things for free. Like a lot of the things that I did to help people, I used to do for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that I encountered so many negative people because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't believe it was a selfless act that somebody was doing.
Right. And then
Um,
they take advantage of it,
yeah,
or they would just view that as, oh, he doesn't have self-worth. It's like some people
maybe.
may view it like that
Yeah,
because your time is valuable. It doesn't mean
yeah,
that you should charge somebody to carry their groceries to the car or something like that.
yeah,
I'll do it for $5. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna genuinely help somebody if they're struggling. But yeah, if you're freely helping people because you enjoy it and they just keep
yeah,
using it and abusing you,
yeah.
that's not cool.
No.
No.
The interesting thing is when I started charging people for my readings on Fiverr, it worked. Like got positive people. I wasn't encountering as many of those negative people. I guess because I put value to what it is I was delivering, people valued it more as well too.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an interesting thing to think about the value of your time, the value of what it is that you're doing. And I try
Mm-hmm.
to price my readings at a point where it's worth my time to
Mm-hmm.
do it. I'm not losing doing the readings, but then at the same time, I have so many I have to do now
Yeah.
that it's like, okay, well, should I charge less? Should I charge more? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, but yeah, it's a weird thing to kind of think about, but that's like charging for your time. And this is like, if you're somebody who does readings,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing it for friends, that's a different thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that you should have the right to charge
Yeah.
for your time. Don't charge somebody $1,000 and sell them a box that's going to cure curses, right? No.
Yeah.
Okay. There's people out there that will do a reading with you and then they'll go, you got terrible energy. If you pay $8,000, I will cure it. And those people are scam artists. Okay.
Yes.
But if they're charging you fairly, which, anything over $1,000, you know,
Kind of ridiculous.
I've seen people though charge ridiculous amounts of money and then still be good at what they do. But for me to charge a lot of money, I would have to be like so busy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know, maybe I just wouldn't do readings if I was that busy. Like if I couldn't offer the service at a
Yeah.
reasonable rate. And there are people in this city I live in that charge like way more than me. I actually did research
Mm-hmm.
to see, well, what do people, I just do it on Fiverr. What do people charge here in the city that I live in? And they're like twice as much, three times as much. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like going, am I charging too much? Like that's how my mind was thinking. And
Yeah.
then I go, oh, well, if I went to go get a reading myself right now where I currently live, I would pay twice as much as one of my highest gigs. I'm
Wow.
like, okay, I guess I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I'd say
Um,
so.
but yeah,
Maybe you could charge more if you wanted.
you can get a reading from me for $15 US.
That's it?
Yes.
Wow.
It starts at $15 US. And for me to go out right now and get a reading, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's $100. You probably know. It's like $100.
Yeah.
Some people charge way more than that. That's the reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's just like, wow. And I used to think that, oh, it's like $20. You go in, you sit down with the psychic, you give them $20 and they'll answer a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. But it's not that anymore. Like it's expensive. So, you want to also give as much value as you can. But then I have like
Definitely.
my more expensive gig is like $55 US,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm answering like 6 questions and I'm pulling like 30 tarot cards.
That's a big reading.
So that's massive. And that's like those videos can be like an hour or
Or
two
longer,
long.
yeah.
Yeah. It depends on your question
Mm-hmm.
and how easily the cards answer them. But it's kind of interesting. But I guess it's all perspective from people.
Mm-hmm.
And I pay attention to when people send me messages on Fiverr. I pay attention. Like sometimes people put comments and they say, "Oh, you have great value," and I'm like, "Good, I'm on task."
Mm-hmm.
Some people order the most lowest price reading, and they say it's too expensive. And it's
Yeah.
like, if you could get a
Okay.
reading, if you can get a reading for $15 US somewhere else,
Exactly.
you go for it. That's not a friend. But then again, like people in my personal life, if somebody in my personal life wanted a reading, I wouldn't charge for that. Like
Right.
this is like people I don't know, that just need help. And I think I've helped a lot more people with this than I have with I think anything else I've done. So
Yep.
I don't know, let me keep helping you guys, okay?
Exactly.
That's it. And when my time is done, I'll know and I'll step down for
Yeah.
somebody else. I had a weird dream, and I think I might have told you about this. I had a dream like within the first year of me doing readings,
Mm-hmm.
and in the dream I was an old man whose hair and beard was all gray, and I was balding.
Mm-hmm.
When I started doing readings, my beard wasn't gray.
No,
I wasn't balding as much, and my hair definitely wasn't gray when I started. You can look at the photos on my Fiverr. It's like brown. Everything's brown. Now everything's white. But I had a dream that I was like doing a tarot card reading. Like my tarot card table was like set up on a stage.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a camera showing my hands and what I was doing on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a convention or something. Like people were coming to see me and get readings from me live.
That's
And it
cool.
was like an auditorium full of people. And I remember walking out, going and making a joke about how I never updated my photos on Fiverr. And I'm like, I'm sorry if I look older than my pictures. Like, it
Yeah.
was like that was my opening line. And it's like, it was such detail. And I'm like, will that happen one day? Will I be an old man on a stage making jokes about how I'm no longer youthful? I don't update my pictures. And then because of that dream, now I want to update all my pictures because I don't want to go out there and people go, wow, he's lying about his image. So I got
Either
to,
that or start combing in all the color and look like you just got
no,
sprayed with spray paint.
no. I remember when like Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hulk Hogan and he
Mm.
had to dye his beard black,
Oh, that was
but
awful.
he dyed the stubble. So
Yep.
it's like every time he must have have done it he must have done it every day.
Right before he stepped out.
Shaved it, like whatever, use a marker, whatever it is that you use. But yeah, I find that I don't want to lie about the way I look. And,
No.
maybe in the future, I'll be all surgeried up watching this video going, you didn't know anything, kid. Surgery is the future.
Right?
But I kind of doubt it. I think the older you look, probably the more people respect your
More
opinion.
distinguished, the more natural you look. I think people will accept it more because you're accepting
I
yourself
guess it's a
that
kind
way.
of a sign of honesty, right?
Yeah, you're authentic.
If you look your age. Of course, I've been looking 40 since I was 20. I had this one student of mine one time. I used to teach, not tarot, but other things. And I had a student of mine walk up to me and he whispered in my ear, he's like, I know your secret. And I don't have secrets. I don't really have secrets.
Nope.
So I went to him. I'm like, what secret? And he's like, you're actually older than you appear, or you're younger than you appear. That's what he said. You're younger than you appear.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I know your actual age. He's like, you're 40. And I was 20. I was like, I might have even have been like 19 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I know you're 40 and you dye your hair to look younger. So this guy like
You were caught.
whispered this to me. And you know what I said to him?
What's that?
I'm like, you're right, but don't tell anybody. Right? It's like, yep.
Yeah. You
Because that
got
guy
me.
wouldn't have believed it. Would have been an argument. He wouldn't have believed me. I would have had to have gotten out my ID, improved. But the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, at the time, I was a 18 and 19-year-old teaching college.
Mm-hmm.
So if they would have been ageist. I think I would have pulled it out, and they're like, "You're younger than me."
Yep, probably. I remember when I
Um,
found out you were younger than me, I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
how did
But
that happen?
I wasn't upset about it.
I actually taught somebody that I went to high school with.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's like the beginning of the class, and I'm there. I'm just hanging out, and she walks in and she goes, "Oh, you're taking this course too?" And I'm like, "Nope, I'm not taking it. I'm teaching it." And she's like, "What? How old are you?" I'm like, "We're the same age." And it's like, "How are you teaching this course?" And it's like, "Somebody let me."
Yep, they had to me too.
Somebody said, "You know what? That
You're interested
40-year-old guy that's definitely not 19 years old. He should teach." I actually taught at many different schools, even some reputable ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the second school that I got hired to teach at, they gave me a contract that I had to sign. And the contract said you had to be 21
Mm-hmm.
to teach. And at the time, I think I was only like 19 or 20. And I said to myself, well, what do I do? Do I lie?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I just write down my real birth date? Because that's what it asked for, the birth date, and
Yep.
hope that nobody checks it. And I wrote down my real birth date.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't lie, and nobody bothered to check it.
That's funny.
And I continued to teach. In fact, I think the last time I taught was about like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have a reputation for being like really good. So anytime I want to teach, I just phone up one of the places I used to work for. And I'm like, I'm ready. And I usually stop teaching when there's no jobs out there. It's
Mm-hmm.
like when I know that what I'm teaching doesn't lead to work, I'm like, I don't want to teach it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to stand in front of that class and go, "There's no work out there. You're wasting your money."
Right.
I'm going to be there when it matters. I don't know. How did you feel about that whole thing? Like must have been weird, right?
Oh, when I found out you were younger than me?
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't really because at the time, the the class was full of people that were much older. Like we had
Yeah.
one guy in his 40s, one
Hmm.
guy about 50 who
Yeah.
was in the class with us, and yeah, so we all just kind of got used to it because
Just everybody's different ages.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't like everyone was fresh out of high school and oh, we're
No.
all 19 years old, wet behind
Yeah.
the ears or anything like that.
No.
It was a whole array of ages and everything. Yeah, it was just kind of accepted because it was the norm in that environment.
Yeah. With that type of subject, which we're not going to tell you. Ba-ba. But yeah, I've taught people from like 18, well, 17, I think, 17 all the way up to like 78.
Mm-hmm.
And that woman that I taught that was like 78, she's like, "Guess how old I am?" And I'm like, "No."
That's a trap.
And she's like, "Would you believe I'm 78?" And I said, "You don't look a day over
76.
77." Yeah. I went like 1 year back. Oh, and she's like, "Thank you." She understood I was joking. She's like, "Oh, thank you.
Yep.
I always look young for my age." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you look like my mother's age."
Yep.
Which at that time my mother was younger. So it's interesting kind of how things work out. And that's like following your path. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're on the right track, moving in the right direction, like doors will open up for you.
Yep.
You'll be able to say the right word. It's almost like a magic trick.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be in the right place at the right time, and you got to say the right words at the right time.
But you also have to know that you are meant to be there because that
Yeah.
intuition will pull you
You have
there
to
too.
believe that, yes, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like fear and worry, that will hold you back from everything. Like if you let your fear become
Yep.
true belief, you just screwed yourself right over.
Right.
Like worrying about like a fear and a worry. It's like when you have fear of something, it's just something maybe you haven't done before. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that you probably need to do. Like if you're afraid of something, it's probably a challenge that you're meant to overcome in this lifetime. Like
Yeah.
where does that fear? A
Exactly.
lot of times you don't even know where your fears and worries even come from.
They mostly come from ego, because it's not your soul that's telling you to be afraid. Ego is actually, its job is to look for danger. But since we are not being hunted by predators or anything, we have that ego which is looking for danger, so it looks for, don't do that, it's bad, don't do that, it's
Yeah.
bad, don't, yeah, it's just, don't listen to that, because it's lying to you.
I think I've been afraid of everything I've ever done, but it only stops me sometimes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was that when I was younger, I had the personality somebody would go, oh, that's impossible. And I would go, no, it's not. It's like, oh,
Why I'm laughing.
you'll never be able to do that. Oh yeah, yes I will.
Well,
I remember when we were doing the TV pilot. We were doing a TV pilot together,
yeah.
and like we got into like we're in Canada, so we were
Mm-hmm.
in the CBC
Yeah.
doing tours to use like the most professional studios. We didn't choose the CBC because they were way too expensive, but I just walked. We just
Yeah.
another friend of ours set it up, but like we were able to just walk in the door. It was like the
Yeah.
universe opened up things that shouldn't have been possible
Yeah.
because it was the right time for us to do that. And like everybody watching, you need to be aware, or listening, you need to be aware that those doors will open for you.
Mm-hmm.
You just
All
have
you
to
have to
like,
do, knock.
yeah,
Just don't be
you
afraid to
know,
knock.
believe that you can succeed in that goal that you have set for yourself.
Yep.
If it's the right goal, if it's the right direction for your life, those doors will open.
Yes.
Okay.
And red carpet will flow out in front of you if
Yeah.
it's the right move. If it's
There's
not the
so,
right move, it
yeah.
will backfire and you got to go another direction. That's how it works.
Yeah. And then there's, success from failure as well, too.
Well,
Um,
look at J.K. Rowling. How many people did she show her book to before the one guy who was retiring and didn't really care anymore went, okay, give her a shot, and boom, here she is.
yeah. And they're
You know?
doing another Harry Potter TV series.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
although people have varying opinions of her right now
Hmm.
based on some things she said, which we're not going
Yeah.
to get into. That's not what this
No,
podcast is about.
not at all.
Um, you
I was
know,
just talking about her success story.
but yeah, it's like she became famous overnight. It's like
Yeah.
kids suddenly decided reading was cool, and it was never cool. Before that, I remember like I think I was older, a little older for the Harry Potter books,
Hmm.
but I remember like kids reading, and I was
Hmm.
walking down the street going, "What is going on here?
Yeah.
This is strange."
She got them to open up some books voluntarily.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, those doors will open for you. And the weird part is it's like we've been talking about negativity and not being negative and being like I almost feel like negativity holds you back from success. Like I feel like
Definitely.
doubt or hate stops things from progressing in a positive direction.
Don't listen
Um
to it and don't follow it.
you hating somebody is a waste of your time.
And energy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Somebody hating you, anger is a
Hmm.
waste of your time. And this is a lesson I've learned the hard way. I'll talk a little bit about my family. My family, they like to complain
Hmm.
and they are angry people. And
Yeah.
I have to learn to kind of say, okay, well, I don't want to be angry.
Yeah.
I don't want to, say things about people behind their backs. That's the truth about Canada, everybody. We're nice to your face. But then when you walk out of the room, we're talking to our family about all your issues and problems.
And we're
That's real
fixing them
Ken.
for you without helping you and telling you.
Yes. We are
But they
fixing
should
them
do.
by complaining, but I think I don't know, at least that's been my Canadian experience,
It's
being
pretty
born here and
accurate.
living here for most of my life. We're nice, but just to your face. And you can see all the stuff Canada's doing to kind of fight against the US.
Hmm.
It's like immediately we stop traveling, we stop
Yeah.
buying their alcohol. We're like, no more from you.
A lot of people sold their real estate that they had down there.
There's people that I know that just said that's it for the US and
Yeah.
just sold their
I'll
properties
go
and came
back in
back.
4 years.
It's who knows? We don't know if it's going to be any better or worse
Hmm.
in the future. Uh, like I'm going to talk about Donald Trump for a second. There's things that he's doing that I don't understand at all.
Right.
There's things that he does that looks positive, and there's things that he's doing that I don't understand and I don't get. And that's
Yeah.
how my view of it. I don't want to hate anybody.
Hmm.
I don't want to be on, like, yes, I'm Canadian, but I don't want to be like on the side of, I don't like taking sides at all, to be honest. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the next 4 years bring. And I hope it's good. I hope all the struggles that people are going through right now and the friction, I hope that it leads to something really good later.
Hmm.
And I do see things getting better. Like, that people get readings from me all the time and they go, is things going to get better? People ask me directly about Donald Trump and the various economies in various countries, and I do
Hmm.
those readings and they usually look good. Things usually get worse before they get better.
Hmm.
And that's what I hope. I hope that what's going on right now is just things getting worse so they can get better
Right.
than they were before. So, and yeah, I just want to go to Disney World. And if anybody from the Disney company is watching, I love Disney. Everything Disney. They're not paying me to say this. And free ticket. I love free tickets. So would
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Star
David
Wars right
Davie
behind me.
J is like,
My helmet
loves the
right there.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Loves the
got my
Star Wars.
Imperial Gunner.
There's his helmet. It's well used. It's a well used helmet. Yeah, because you do the thing,
Yep, I am
what
a
is it,
yep,
cosplaying, is
I
that what
am
they
a
call it?
cosplayer. I am a member of the First Legion, which is a worldwide organization that is all volunteer. We dress up in movie accurate costumes, and they've
Mm-hmm.
actually called people up in the first to
Mm-hmm.
dress up as stormtroopers for the Mandalorian when they were
Wow.
filming, because they needed stormtroopers, and they were like, where do we get them? So not only did they have all the costumes, they had the people who knew how to put them on
Yeah.
and how to walk in them.
Yeah.
So that
Well, that's a
was,
whole other thing, right?
yeah,
You think about like Darth Vader, the stormtroopers, RoboCop,
yeah,
like how did you have to learn how to walk within the confines of the
of a
suit
very
or
complex
costume, right?
costume. Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
it's amazing to think about, you know. Anyway, free tickets from Disney. Thank you. Please send them to me. If Disney
Yeah.
sends me free tickets, unfortunately, I would give them away on the podcast. Oh, what's wrong with me? But that's what I would probably do.
Most likely, yeah.
And you can come with me and Dave to Disney. I
Yay.
wouldn't give away all the tickets.
But I'm not wearing my costume because it's hot in Florida
I
for
don't think
that.
you're allowed to wear. I don't
Actually,
think
you're
you
right.
are.
No,
Well,
you're
you
right.
can't.
You can't.
You
Yeah,
can dress in Disney themed merchandise, but I don't
yes.
think you can be like full stormtrooper or full. What's the
No,
name of the
not yet.
character? The
Mine is
Yeah,
the Imperial Gunner.
the Imperial Gunner. Yeah,
Mhm.
you probably can't dress as an Imperial Gunner. They wouldn't
No,
let you in.
unless you're working at the park
Yeah,
in their costume.
yeah, and their costume is probably very different than the movie accurate one.
No, actually, their costumes are pretty
Are they?
movie accurate. Yeah,
Oh wow.
I've been to Galaxy's Edge,
Yeah,
and it's yep, they're walking around in accurate costumes.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yep.
Now we started this as just a little video,
Mm-hmm.
and we're 55 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a podcast, even if I don't want it to be a podcast. So I guess we'll do a close and
Yeah.
then we'll do an introduction.
Sounds good.
Oh man, like what do you even call this? It's like the negative people. We hate negative people. If we put "we hate negative people" as the title, it
That
would blow up.
that probably would, but we
People would
don't
get
actually.
10 minutes into the video and go, "Oh, they're terrible. They don't hate
Yeah.
people."
Yeah, we don't. No.
I go out of my way to not hate people.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people are hard to love, but
Yeah.
I don't hate them. I
But
do
some
everything I can.
people are easy to walk away from.
Well, yeah, it's surprisingly like once you get into the pattern of recognizing bad influence and walking away from it,
Yep.
it becomes easy.
Yep.
Like I went through this time in my life where I realized that a lot of the people in my life were toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through. Davie J wasn't kicked out, but
Nope.
a
I'm
lot of the
still here.
people that I was working with and that I knew that I had connections with, I just went through them all and like, nope, right? And
Mhm.
I like, it's like you reduce your friends down to like a handful.
Yep.
the right ones. And it's just like, well, I'll maybe work with that person in the future, but I can't be that person's friend because either
Yeah.
they're doing something that's negative that I don't support, or they're, hurting me in some way, or I'm giving them way too much
Yeah.
and they're just taking, and that wears you down after a while.
It drains you. If you physically feel drained after being around somebody, they call that being an auric vampire. They're literally
Mm,
sucking the life out of you.
yeah,
So,
energy vampire, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
energy vampire.
And
Yeah.
now some people are not people, so some people, they're in a group of people that's draining even if they're not energy vampires. But like sometimes you go, why is it that I'm so tired the next day after hanging out or talking to this person? Like
Yeah.
that's how you know, right? If you're
Yes.
not feeling okay the next day, then
And
there's
yet
something.
they're energized and happy because they hung around you for a couple hours, and
Yeah,
yet
they're
you're
taking your
just
energy.
completely flat.
The next day they're like, let's go hang out. I'm like,
No, I'm
no,
still recovering from yesterday, and it's not from any alcohol consumption or anything like that. It's
I
just,
feel
it
hungover
drains
for
me.
no reason, man. But yeah, once you kind of identify these people, there's nothing wrong with these people. It's just they're not the right people for you. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is nobody's bad. It's
No,
just, are they compatible with your energy or are they not?
exactly. Do you
And if they're
resonate?
not, let them go off
Yeah.
and find people that they are compatible with, right?
Rejection is protection as well. If somebody rejects you, okay. That they're protecting you from their energy as much as they're protecting themselves from you.
Yeah. And everybody goes through a ridiculous amount of rejection
Absolutely.
within their lifetime. And that's a way to know that you're on the right track or on the wrong track.
Mm-hmm.
If everything you do is being rejected,
Yeah.
if people in your life, like maybe there's something you're doing wrong. Like maybe there's a direction that you're not supposed to be.
Like, I'm not going to show up at the Spider-Man auditions. I'm clearly not meant for the role, but one of you out there might be.
Yeah,
So you never know.
you could be something though.
Yeah, I could be the hobgoblin.
A hobgoblin. Or you can be the extra with lines that goes, "Look, it's Spider-Man."
Because I
Like
can't deliver or memorize lines to save my life.
you could say, "Look, it's Spider-Man."
Yeah. Oh, I could do that. Yeah, I could.
Yeah, just be an
I'd still
extra.
probably take 2 or 3 takes to do it right, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, what they do is like with extras, if they're giving them lines, they'll
Hmm.
like have one person do it, and if
Hmm.
they don't like it, they're like, "Nah," and bring in another person.
Yep.
But I think I think if you have lines in a movie, even if it's not in the movie, I think you get credit for that. Anyway, but yeah, we're way off topic here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for our podcast here. From me, our Christoph and Davie J. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share with people who like this kind of content.
Yeah, and comment down below if you have any opinions on anything that we've said in this video.